it's not just because I watched my husband take a $300 billion deficit and turn it into a $200 billion surplus, and 23 million new jobs were created, and incomes went up for everybody. Everybody. Average
Everybody.
American incomes went up 33%. And it's not just because I worked with George W. Bush after 9/11, and I was very proud that when I told him what the city needed, what we needed to recover, he said, "You've got it," and he never wavered. He stuck with me. And I have worked, and I admire President Obama. He inherited the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. That was a terrible time for our country.
We have to move along.
9 million people lost
Secretary
their
Time
Clinton,
to
we
jobs.
have
move it
50.
5
along.
million homes were lost, and
Secretary Clinton,
$13
we're moving
trillion
on.
I hate when they
in
keep
resources
talking.
wiped out. We are
Okay.
back on the right track. He would send us back into
Thank you.
recession with his
Thank
tax
you.
plans that
Secretary
Okay.
would
Clinton, we are
benefit the
moving to an
wealthiest
audience
of
question.
Americans.
We're almost out of
We
time.
have
We have
Jesus.
another.
Mr.
Trump, we're
That's
moving to
you,
an
Jess.
audience question.
29.
That's you.
It is our
Mr.
country
Trump,
has the
Secretary
slowest growth.
Clinton, we
Oh,
want to
oh
get
my
to
God.
the audience.
Disaster.
I was gonna say
Thank you
that's
very much.
Chico, and then I realized that's Trump, and so no. No.
We have another audience question. Beth Miller has
He
a
triggered.
question for both candidates.
Good evening. Perhaps the most important aspect of this election is the Supreme Court justice. What would you prioritize as the most important aspect of selecting a Supreme Court justice?
We begin with your 2 minutes, Secretary Clinton.
Thank you. Well, you're right. This is one of the most important issues in this election. Um, I want to appoint Supreme Court justices who understand the way the world really works, who have real life experience, who have not just been in a big law firm and maybe clerked for a judge and then gotten on the bench, but maybe they tried some more cases. They actually understand what people are up against, because I think the current court has gone in the wrong direction. And so I would want to see the Supreme Court reverse Citizens United and get dark, unaccountable money out of our politics. Donald doesn't agree with that. I would like the Supreme Court to understand that voting rights are still a big problem in many parts of our country, that we don't always do everything we can to make it possible for people of color and older people and young people to be able to exercise their franchise. I want a Supreme Court that will stick with Roe v. Wade and a woman's right to choose, and I want a Supreme Court that will stick with marriage equality. Now, Donald has put forth the names of some people that he would consider.
There we go.
Among
That's
the ones
Tico
that
right
he has
there.
suggested,
One with the
people who would
glasses.
reverse Roe v. Wade and reverse marriage equality. I think that would be
Go.
a terrible mistake and
It's
would take us
happy.
backwards. I
Actually, he
want a
doesn't look like he
Supreme
wants to be
Court that
there.
doesn't always side with corporate interests.
No,
I
that
want a
messes
Supreme
me
Court
because
that
I wouldn't want to be
understands
there. I'd be
because
very
you
The
vote
other
for somebody
guy,
of
the
one
other guy's
party
like,
to
boy.
something doesn't mean you have any more rights or should have any more rights than anybody else. So I have very clear views about what I want to see to kind of change the balance on the Supreme Court. And I regret deeply that the Senate has not done its job, and they have not
Bruh.
permitted a vote on the person that President Obama, a highly qualified person, they've not given him a vote to be able to have the full complement of 9 Supreme Court justices. I think that was a dereliction of duty. I hope that they will see their way to doing it, but if I am so fortunate enough as to be president, I will immediately move to make sure that we fill that. We have 9
Thank you,
justices,
Secretary
and they get to
Clinton.
work on behalf of the people.
Okay, you can
Continue
stop
your time,
talking
Mr.
now.
Trump.
Justice Scalia, great judge, died recently, and
Okay, thank you for that.
we have a vacancy. I am looking to appoint judges very much in the mold of Justice Scalia. I'm looking for judges, and I've actually picked 20 of them so that people would see highly respected, highly thought of, and actually very beautifully reviewed by just about everybody, but people that will respect the Constitution of the United States. And I think that this is so important. Also, the Second Amendment, which is totally under siege by people like Hillary Clinton. They'll respect the Second Amendment and what it stands for, what it represents. So important to me. Now, Hillary mentioned something about contributions, just so you understand. So I will have in my race more than $100 million put in of my money, meaning I'm not taking all of this big money from all of these different corporations like she's doing. What I ask is this. So I'm putting in more than, by the time it's finished, I'll have more than $100 million invested.
Nice to know.
It's self-funding mine. We're raising money for the Republican Party, and we're doing tremendously on the small donation.
Wait, why do you need to raise money when you're literally a billionaire on your own?
She made $250 million.
I believe he's a Dong Gie Fong.
The power of her office to make a lot of money.
What is that word?
Why
Yes.
isn't she funding not for $100 million?
It
but
means
10 or
slow.
20 or 25 or $30 million into your own campaign. It's $30 million less for.
Hey, Carly.
special
My Carly
interests
is really
what to
old
do.
though.
And it would really, I think, be
Are you
nice
Dong
to
Gie Fong?
the American
Yes.
public. Why aren't you putting some money in? You have a lot of it. You've made a lot of it because of the fact that you.
Oh my
did
God,
this.
Angel
A lot of it was
Bynum.
Secretary of State.
I am so mad at her. She did a Snapchat filter on Donald Trump, and it's of the Lady Queen thingy. He's a queen.
I just want to quickly say,
Very quickly.
I respect the Second Amendment, but I
Okay.
believe there should be comprehensive background checks.
You gotta be quickly, so that doesn't mean you pause.
Close the online loophole.
We have
should try to
one more
save
question,
as many
Mrs.
lives
Clinton.
as we possibly can.
We have one more question from Ken Bone about energy policy. Ken?
What
Okay.
steps will your energy policy take to meet our
That's Tico. That's officially Tico. That's you.
for fossil power plants?
Two minutes.
Tico, that has to be you.
I'm the dude that looks like he does not want to be there.
But that guy's more interesting though.
Is killing these energy companies.
That guy is he's adorable. He's more happy. He looks like, he reminds me of an old TV movie.
And then
With-
rejiggering
with
plan
the-
so that they can take care of their We are absolutely killing our energy
Tico.
resources in this country.
Hello.
For
He looks like a
all
Tico though.
forms of energy, including wind, including solar.
He's like, hey friend.
But we need much more than wind and solar.
He's like, hey friend, I have something that I would like to say.
Hillary Clinton wants to put all the
You're
miners
like
out
one
of
of those
business.
kids that get picked on at school.
There
but
is
you
a thing
still
called
have
clean coal.
Yes, that's what I mean. Hey kids. He might be a pedophile, low key.
So
Just
many other
saying.
things because of technology. We have unbelievable. We have found over the
Tico, you're automatically a pedo.
tremendous wealth
I'm
right
sorry.
under our feet.
I'm upset
So
because
good,
my friends
especially
call
when
me
you have
that.
20 trillion in.
I'm upset.
I will bring our energy companies back.
He will bring our energy
Compete,
companies
they'll
back.
Make money, they'll pay off
Let
our
us
national
remind
debt,
you
they'll
that
pay off our
we have way
college
too much
budget deficits,
CO2
which
already
are
in the air and
tremendous.
probably don't need any more energy companies.
companies out of
No, but
business.
no, 'cause the energy
We have to
companies don't
bring back
necessarily
our
bring
workers.
carbon. That's
You
the
take a
carbon.
look at what's happening to
Okay,
steel
true.
and the cost of steel, and China dumping vast amounts of steel all over the United States, which essentially is killing our steel workers and our steel companies. We have to
He's
go
so
to
beautiful.
our energy companies. We have to make it possible. The EPA
I
is
love
so
him. Look at his
we are
face.
putting our energy
He
companies
even-
out of business. And all you have to do is go to a great place like West Virginia or places
Yes.
like Ohio, which is phenomenal, or places like
He's
Pennsylvania,
smiling.
and you
Even
see
when
what
he's
they're
talking,
doing
he's like, hi guys, I got something to
miners
say.
and others in the
He
energy
reminds me of my
business. It's a
fish, to be
disgrace.
honest.
Time's up. Thank you
I
so
think,
much.
Absolute disgrace.
yes, if my fish were to be human, that's what he would have looked like.
Well, that was
That's
very
Hyro right there.
interesting.
Hyro the
First of
fish.
all, China is illegally dumping steel in the United States, and Donald Trump is buying it to build his buildings, putting steel workers and American steel plants
Okay.
out of business.
Oh, it's him!
That's something that I fought
Ayy.
against as a senator, and that I
I
would
swear
have
the
a
people in the
a
background are
trained
more
prosecutor
interesting.
to make sure that we don't get taken advantage of by China on steel